So one of the things that I've always been really keen in, and actually I've been thinking about this morning, it's whether it comes naturally or it's a type of person that does sport or whichever. But I'm a basketball coach. I play as part of the Newcastle Griffins team, which is part of the Newcastle Eagles kind of club and community here in the northeast of England. But I've always been passionate about sport. I've always kind of loved that. And even when I was growing up, basically I was in Cubs and Scouts, and I've always loved the teamwork stuff and that kind of thing. And actually through my door last night, so I went to University of Sheffield for both my undergrad, master's mechanical engineering, and my postgrad, master's in mechanical engineering. So I get that's in this. And basically it's where the university tries to tap you for money to donate to different things, but they also tell you what's going on. And I always have a flick through. And what I love is actually when you see people that you kind of know. And what I wanted to do and celebrate was actually, I put a post about it last night, was Tolu. So she's there. I know you can't read this, but actually it was the fact that for me, when I was at university, you always have people that play sport, which is fantastic. That's a huge amount of people. But then every sports team generally has a committee where you have the club captain, the captain, the social sec, and different people actually get involved with organising and running the team. And actually that's the bits that people often don't think about, but take a lot of time, a lot of effort. But the skills and stuff that you learn take a lot of time. But actually, when you then go through to your business, your business life and career, they're often the people that you really kind of want to celebrate and like. Good morning, Simon. Thanks for the basketball emoji. But actually, so what was interesting is that of the group of people, so I was USB, so I was University of Sheffield basketball, but you have men's rugby, women's rugby, all the different teams of team, you have volleyball, and you've probably got 80 or so different teams. And then there was a guy called Andy Cox, and he's now director of sport, I think, at Sport Sheffield. But it's actually a fairly good, slick setup, and we used to have really good kit. But essentially what you have is that you have people that play sport tend to be kind of leaders, and they love, because the big thing about sport as well, you have a definitive winner and loser. And I know some people say nowadays that with kids sports days, nobody loses, if that makes sense. It's always an 8th place medal. But the truth is in sport, no, someone definitely wins and loses. And actually there's a lot of stuff that you can learn in terms of leadership. That one of the things I used to play at a good level at basketball, I'm 39 now, so I'm way past it. But the whole point is, I know what it's like to be the best player on a team and also the worst player on a team. And if you go back 10 years, 12 years, when I used to coach the University of Sheffield men's basketball team, and even before that, 10 years before that, when I used to play on that kind of team, it always used to break my heart that often in competitive sport, especially university and amateur sport, because of constraints, like for instance, having to drive to away games and stuff, there were times under former coaches where they would pick a player just because they had a car. You'd drive 4 hours to go to Hull or Sunderland or wherever, have a game, and they wouldn't even give them any minutes, which is obviously, how you're playing time. And then you kind of come back, and it used to break my heart, because for me, sport and leadership or even anything like that is about bringing people together, getting the best out of your team. And actually, you learn that, or I learned that through sport and through scouts and that kind of thing. But actually, it's so true in kind of business. And what I loved to see yesterday when the post came through about Tolu is that I think that's inherent for all different kind of sports. I think it's more true in team sports because, there's a team part to it. But also the people that kind of get involved in the committees and the different parts of running the team. And even now I do it as a coach. I have to go to meetings and do different stuff. Those people are willing to go the extra mile often are the people that you really want in your business, in your career, that then when it comes to interviews, which I'm going to talk about later, it really kind of shines through. And actually those people, although Tolu was a friend of a friend, so there's a guy called David Morris who we used to call Jesus, who was, that was the link. But you kind of stay in touch on things like LinkedIn, and it's a really great thing to see. My question was almost to do with, is it just luck that people I had contact with seem to have gone on to be really successful? But then likewise on the Sheffield basketball team, I don't think we really had any elite players. Whenever you play competitive sport, you can get good, but then there's an elite level, which is just like brilliant. And nobody was at that level. But actually that's a blessing in some ways, because you're never good enough to be able to chase that career professionally. But actually you learn the skills, you enjoy playing, you love the competition, but you've always got eyes on other things. But actually just when you get a really good group of people together who will motivate each other, support each other, look after each other, I think that continues kind of through life. And it was just a question, about how, if you're ever looking to develop your own career, what are your thoughts on actually, did you learn sports or leadership through sports? I think it's massively, important. I don't have kids, but if I did, I would definitely put them through that route. And then likewise, shout out to Andy Cox, and actually any organisation, which I guess would be true for a university or a sports club or whoever. So again, for Newcastle Griffins, it's how you can create a culture which actually empowers people through to actually help them develop in terms of what they do on the court and picking people up and hustle and hard work and stuff. But actually, when that starts to roll through to second and third tier and generation of teams that come through, that with the Newcastle Griffins team, the club starts at like under 10s and goes all the way through the different layers to men's team, women's team, that kind of thing. And I do think that you kind of learn and celebrate skills that are massively valuable in life. And I think that's something wonderful that kind of sports can do. But I would love to know your thoughts and comments. So please let me know, and please kind of get in touch as well.